My gratitude to this company and the people that own it and created it, the entrepreneurs that put forth the risk-taking, the blood, sweat, and tears. My gratitude is eternal and undying because it's enabled me to come to you and do what I love to do, be in front of a camera and a microphone, talk to the masses, talk to the people, entertain them, educate them, motivate them, inspire them, and lighten their load. And aside from Pitbull Energy Drink, we're coming to you from the Brownstone Bistro on Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles, and this show is also sponsored by Murder Mystery USA. That's www.murdermystery.com. But we are going to be having a Murder Mystery show here at the Brownstone Bistro on the 22nd of this month, Saturday night. I play the detective in these things. I've done it for years. It is a memorable and unbelievably fun night out. If you've never been to one, everybody I've ever talked to, when I tell them what I do, when I meet people, they always say the same thing. I've always wanted to go to one of those. You don't know who the actors are. They're interspersed amongst you, and the mystery is afoot, and there's a lot of laughs, a lot of laughs. And if you're coming with someone, you can bring their business card or a picture of them, slip it to the murder mystery host. They get it to me, and as the detective, I find it on one of the dead bodies, stand them up, and give them a hard time. So that's a really cool thing, and you should come on out to the Brownstone Bistro here. Also brought to you, if you have any issues with water damage, fire damage, mold remediation, mold growing, stinky smells coming up from your house or your business, just call Tip Top Restoration, 800-788-1196, 800-788-1196. I want to give a shout-out to my photographer who photographs me at all the comedy shows that I produce, and he's a tremendous corporate photographer, headshot guy, Alan Alchek. And to reach any of these people, you can always just contact me, lumpygooseproductions@gmail.com, at Howie Walfish, that's with one L, on the Twitter. I sent out my first tweet yesterday. I am no longer a Twitter virgin because of this show. I'm not tech savvy. I've always wanted to hire like a 22-year-old kid that could hack into the Pentagon to run my social media stuff, but I had to do it on my own. So there's a little lesson for all entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs and anyone chasing the dream. You got to have some self-reliance. And I was very impressed with myself. I must tell you that I sent out a tweet. I also wanted to tell you about, like I said, I produce comedy shows. We're doing a comedy contest for 10 weeks starting the 21st of February going through April 25th. It's a $100 grand prize. No registration fee for the comics. The winner is decided by the audience. It's at Lulu's Restaurant out in the Valley at Roscoe and Balboa, 818-988-0707. Again, any questions about any of this, you just contact me. Hit me up on Facebook. Become my friend. I'm hovering at 1742. I want to break the 2,500 mark at some point. So please, I need to be liked. Also, if you want to call in today to talk, I've got a great guest that's helped me get involved in one of my entrepreneurial endeavors, and you can call in at 323-965-1600. 323-965-1600 is the call-in number. Now, before I go any further, I wanted to mention that it is Black History Month, and this studio is RMC is really kind of an urban-themed thing. And yet here I am, a white New York Jewish guy getting to do a show here, and I think that's great. And if you ask me my three most admired men in history, one of the top three, if not the top one, is Martin Luther King Jr., and it's Black History Month, and he should be talked about every day throughout the black community and throughout the free world. What he did was astonishing, astounding, amazing. And one of the things that inspires me every day and that has helped keep me going is a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that I have taped to the wall of my bedroom. And it's right near my bedroom door, so when I leave, I see it every day. And this is the quote: "Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step." That's not from me. That's not from some schlub. That's from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who changed the world, who was a force of nature. And here's a question I think everybody ought to ask themselves, given what's going on right now in America, because everything is race. I mean, I'm a comedian, and I see it when I go out to do comedy shows, and I see it all over Facebook. It's really, I don't know, it's working my nerves a little. It should be that we're coming together, and it seems like there's more separation. That Trayvon Martin thing, that tragedy, that was really bad. And that George Zimmerman guy is just a punk who, I know characters like that. I encountered them when I first came out to L.A., security guards who are wannabe cops. They have no courage except for the gun on their hip. You know, the guy couldn't fight Trayvon, and Trayvon was a 17-year-old kid. This guy was a grown man. Whatever. That was a really bad thing. And he got off, but you know, that guy's mentality, I know it. And one good thing happened recently with that guy. They were actually going to give him a time on the air. No, he has no talent. His claim to fame is killing a kid. And they were going to put him in a celebrity boxing match. And the promoter finally got smart. I think he got 50,000, 100,000 emails, tweets, and he canceled it. DMX was going to fight him, I think. But unfortunately, it was a celebrity boxing match. He couldn't have given him the beating he really needed to get. So anyhow, that's good news. But here's the question I think everyone should be asking themselves during Black History Month regarding things as they are in America today with the various leaders of the black community that are most present on the TV and in the media, that being Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. What if Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today? How different would things be? How bad would the violence in the inner cities be? You know, how bad would the gang issue be? How much would Martin Luther King Jr. affect it? I think he'd affect it in a huge way. I know Jim Brown, the greatest football player of all time, who I had the pleasure of meeting when I first came out here. It was unbelievable. I used to serve drinks to Fred Williamson, the Hammer, and he was friends with Jim Brown. And I got to go to a party at Jim Brown's house, and it was like unbelievable. I was 22, 23 years old, fresh out of New York. It was just to look at the man. I mean, you know, Richard Pryor used to say, when Jim Brown goes walking in the woods, the bears come running out, because Jim Brown was the toughest guy alive. And if you watch footage of him, you know, he just plows through guys. So he's an excellent example of persistence and determination and constant forward motion. Watch footage of Jim Brown running on a football field, and guys, like 6 guys can't bring him down. So my guest today is also a picture of persistence and determination. She indirectly brought me into this entrepreneurial endeavor I'm involved with, all about skincare. I talked about this last week. One of my great passions is maintaining a youthful appearance. I don't think we have to get old. I mean, we can't keep from getting old, but we don't have to look old and we don't have to feel old. Some people want to get old. They're just, that's their thing, whatever. They're just, I don't know. I don't get it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm staying 33. 33 is what I am in my head, because that's when Jesus left us. That's what I decided. So now they're saying he was 36. There's some dispute. But either way, I'm staying under 40 for the rest of my days. And one day, all of a sudden, I'll turn really old and I'll go to my peace. But in the meantime, I'll look good. I'll look good because of this new product that's on the market, this revolutionary anti-aging product that my guest is going to talk about with me. And it's called Nerium AD, and it's awesome, and it's a great business opportunity. And the show's about entrepreneurs and people chasing the dream. And speaking of chasing the dream and things that get in the way of chasing it or get in the way of once it's captured, I wanted to address one of the really sad stories in the news recently, Philip Seymour Hoffman. 70 bags of heroin is – now, you got to understand, I'm coming from a place where I grew up in a white, middle-class Jewish neighborhood, some Italian, some Irish. 30 of us were intellectually gifted students. Everybody had personality, wit, and charisma. Everybody had talent. There was much that could have come of many of those people. 40 of them are dead, and they're dead due to the ravages of drug and alcohol abuse. So if you're chasing the dream – you work hard chasing it. You might work 18 hours a day if you've got your own business. And who's to deny you a cocktail or two or a glass of wine or a half a bottle of wine at the end of the day? That's, your choice, whatever. For some people, it's prescription meds that take the edge off. Many people, I mean, many people love the marijuana. And in fact, I got to give a shout out to a place I passed coming up Pico, because I like the clever names some of the dispensaries come up with. And this is the most clever I've seen. And it was called Field of Greens, a takeoff on the movie Field of Dreams. I thought that was very clever. But anyway, pot is no longer part of my life. And it does kill ambition for the vast majority of people. I don't need studies to tell me that. But I know people that wake and bake and get through the day and do their work. And it's just like medicine. It really is medicine to them. It shuts off their brain, their anxiety, whatever. But here's the thing. There is a huge difference between the use, misuse, and insane, self-destructive, suicidal abuse of any given medication, substance, or alcohol. Okay? We all know people who, after the second drink, they want to get violent, they want to argue, they get nasty. And then we all know people who, after the second drink, are all, lovey-dovey. They're just all smiles and giggles and happy, and that's great. Now, when you bring heroin into the mix, when you start talking about the white powders, I personally believe these are emissaries of Satan on earth. He's not coming in a red suit with horns and a pitchfork. Okay? The people I know that are dead from cocaine and meth and crack and a lot of alcohol abuse. Of course, alcohol has probably killed more people than any of these things. But a guy like Philip Seymour Hoffman, I mean, he captured the dream, and he deserved to capture it because his talent was off the charts. I mean, he was just unbelievable talent, and everybody knows that, and incredibly well respected by his peers and colleagues. And then supposedly he was 23 years sober. Personally, having had personal experience with drug addicts close to me, I don't believe that. And I'll state that for the record. And this is no insult to Mr. Hoffman's family, but it's a very rare thing to find people that were addicted to things like heroin that actually spent 23 years sober, and all of a sudden he's going with 70 bags of heroin and various prescription meds in his apartment. They do what's called going out or stepping off the reservation. I have no proof, just my instinctive gut feeling that somewhere in those 23 years, they're very good at hiding. And in fact, his best friend, his manager, they all said, his ex-wife said, he seemed fine. They were all somewhat surprised. But if you've ever known a heroin addict or any kind of addict, it'll be sad when they go, but it'll never be a shock to me. It'll never be a shock to me. I'm just getting the news that the man I mentioned a little earlier, when he goes walking in the woods, the bears come running out. Mr. Jim Brown is going to be here at RMC on Live Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And I think I might have to stop by just to accidentally bump into him and shake his hand again. Although shaking his hand could result in broken fingers, let me tell you. So anyway, getting back to Philip Seymour Hoffman, art is a cruel mistress. That's what they say. What drove this guy to do this, I don't know. But if he bought 70 bags of heroin and he had the financial resources to get pure heroin, and they're saying that it was mixed with fentanyl, which is a very powerful painkiller for cancer patients, and he was found with a needle in his arm. He's not snorting it. He was shooting heroin in his arm. This is very serious stuff. So he captured the dream. He was still living the dream. He's making millions. He's living his art. He's beloved. I'm pretty sure he was an Oscar winner, maybe more than once. I know he was nominated. And why? What drives a person to that? What is that? So, again, the chasing of the dream brings with a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of, it can bring a lot of anxiety, fear, and worry. And people will, of course, utilize various and I'm not here to preach to anyone to not get high. You do what you want to do. Everyone's going to do what they want to do no matter what anyone else says. If people want to smoke pot all day and all night and their friends are telling them, this is not good for you, it don't matter. They're going to do what they're going to do. 70 bags of heroin in your apartment, you're locking yourself away for the weekend. He either knew he was going to die that weekend, or he was doing what I'm doing right now regarding my addiction to sugar. I'm a sugar junkie, and I've been eating pie and cake and chocolate chip cookies because I keep saying this is the last one before I go on the the sabbatical from sugar, which is far more hard to kick than marijuana or alcohol. Let me tell you, I'm almost 7.5 years without alcohol or pot. No meetings, no program. I just made a decision. It was in the way of making money. And pot at that point had reached the point where I just got madly anxiety-ridden, and instead of laughing and giggling and having fun and feeling, like the aphrodisiac effects of it, I just was in the corner of my bed, under the covers, grown man, fetal position, sobbing, obsessing about every mistake I ever made with money and women. That's not getting high. So you got to know where you stand with these various things. And I just don't believe that Philip Seymour Hoffman did not know where he stood with getting 70 bags of heroin. And it is tragic. It is a loss not just for his family and his friends and his kids. God bless him. That's a horrible thing. He left behind 3 kids. But it's a loss for all of us who like to be entertained and enjoy great art and great actors that can really deliver the goods. Not everybody's a great actor. There's plenty of actors making a lot of money, but they're not all truly artists or truly. This guy was unbelievable. So I just wanted to say that and say that he went south. We lost them. We lost Whitney. We lost Michael Jackson. We lost so many. Back in the day, we lost Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. It's an unbelievable. The list goes on and on and on of incredibly talented artists in music, in acting, in every field of art that are dead before their time due to the abuse of drugs and alcohol. And now prescription meds are starting to take a lot of people. Because I've utilized painkillers because of dental work, and I had a hernia operation. And those things make you feel good. They give you a nice lift. You feel more pleasant. You feel more loving. They make you feel good. And so if you have the financial resources, you can get a lot of them, because what happens if you use them a lot, you will build a tolerance. I was utilizing the Ambien to sleep, and that's done. It has no effect on me anymore. It does not put me to sleep, and that's a bummer, because it's nice to sleep. But I'll get over that. Now, there was another celebrity, and this is all documented in the public record, and I'm not trying to cause any embarrassment, but Tim Allen, who had the great hit sitcom Home Improvement, who was a tremendous comedian. Back in the day, years back, he trafficked in cocaine. He spent 5 years in federal prison, I think. I'm not sure if it was federal, but he spent 5 years in prison. But he did what this show's about, constant forward motion. He did not give up. He did not let that put an end to him. He came back and created an incredible success. Drew Carey, who set me on the path to getting out of my despair that I had been in at the time, I saw him on Larry King being interviewed, and apparently, and he stated this out loud, this is again public record, Larry King asked him if it was true that he went to Vegas 2 different times with the intent of killing himself. And he said, yeah, it was. And now at the time he asked him this, Drew Carey had 3 hit shows on TV. He had his sitcom, he had that improv show with Wayne Brady and the tall, lanky white guy, I'm forgetting his name, and some of the best, some of the most talented came through, and I mean, they just delivered the goods. And he also had this green screen show where they put the sketch artist or the improv person in front of the green screen. They throw something up on the green screen, and they had to play off of that. So here's a man, multimillionaire, and also, who doesn't like Drew Carey? And he said he really had gone twice with the intent of killing himself, but thankfully he didn't. And when he was asked, how did you get over it? And this is for anyone who might be experiencing in despair or thinking it's time to give up or, just having a negative, downtrodden attitude. His answer to Larry King, how did you get from that to where you are now, all the success, America Loves You, multimillionaire? He said, I read all those books. All the self-help books, all the personal development books, and one of the things all those books mention is about the importance of moving forward, always moving forward. That's why on the screen you saw the graphic that opened up. No matter what comes your way, you get over it and you keep moving forward. And whatever way you keep moving forward. I had one thing I used to have on the wall in my room, any action is better than no action at all. And I will tell you that what I'm doing here, I'm not making any money doing this. I'm not making a fortune doing this. Who knows where it might lead. But I will tell you that every day it draws closer to Tuesday when I'm going to do this, I I see myself getting more amped up and energized and excited, and whatever depression I might be feeling starts to fade away because I know I'm coming to do what I love. And I really do love doing this. And I'm going to be bringing you a lot of great comics, a lot of great laughter. But right now, I wanted to focus on the first few shows about the whole idea of people that are doing what I really admire, trying to get something going, making their own way, and being entrepreneurial. That's what America's built on, thinking outside of the box, new ideas. I read a story about a 15-year-old girl that came up with something called fish flops. They're like flip-flops with fish patterns on them or something. She's in I don't know how many different department stores and did like $2.5 million her first year. She's 15 years old. Anybody that has kids, I'd suggest this to you. I don't have kids, and if I did, I can tell you right now, the moment I brought him or her home from the hospital, and laid them in that crib, every night as I put them to sleep, I'd whisper in their ear, this is because the power of suggestion is very powerful, and you should be telling yourself this all the time. I would be telling my kid, you are going to be extremely wealthy. And if they ask me why, how do you know, Dad? I'd just say, Howie Jr., I don't have to know how. I just know. We don't have to know how it's going to happen. Just get it tattooed on your brain and get what was on that graphic tattooed on your brain. No matter what comes your way, you get over it, and you keep moving forward. One of the football coaches, I think it was Herm Edwards, who used to coach the Jets, whose dad was a military guy. He used to be in the training facility at 4 a.m. working out. He is one strong, tough guy and a very passionate and intense guy and a great football coach. And they were interviewing him, and for whatever reason, whatever they asked him, he just went, listen, life is not a sissy sport, and the fight is just getting started. So ultimately, it comes down to attitude. And the woman I have as my guest today really has a healthy attitude. I put this lady through the ringer, I'll tell you, because my attitude can go up and down. And this business I got in with her and my friends that know her, it can work you. It can work your nerves a little. It's things aren't easy. Everything's not easy. You can work smarter, not harder. But, there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to be some pain and suffering. There's going to be some annoyance. Who else did I want to talk about in the world of entertainment that kept moving forward? Travolta. Right now I'm at 185 pounds, which is not good. I was hovering below 180 for a long time. I got to get back to 165. But whenever I'm thinner, I get told I look like one of three celebrities: Gary Shandling, John Travolta, or a young Jerry Lewis. So Travolta is close to my heart because when I was younger and I first came out here, he was really, getting back into the groove of things. And I met girls who just, had a thing for Travolta. And I got, lucky without too much effort because they thought I looked like him. And I met him once and I shook his hand and I got next to his ear and I said, listen, I owe you a debt of gratitude. I've gotten pretty lucky with some good-looking women because they think I look like you. So remember, he kind of disappeared, and then Quentin Tarantino came along and put him in Pulp Fiction, and the next thing you know, he's making $20 million a picture. There's a billion stories I could tell you over the course of time. I could stay on here all day for 18 to 24 hours straight telling you stories of people that were down and out, that bounced back, that came back, that never gave up, that stayed in the game. That's the ticket out here in Hollywood. And anything else, athletics too, stay in the game. Everyone is down on Tebow. He doesn't know how to throw a football, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, gang. He took his team to the first round of the playoffs, and he is not a guy that gives up. And he is currently training with a guy that trained some of the best pitchers in baseball, throwing motion guy. So you heard it here first. Tebow's coming back, and Tebow's going to the Super Bowl. I'm saying it. I'm saying it here first. Okay, we're coming up on a break soon. How are we doing on break? We're coming up on a break soon, and then we're going to bring in our guest. But before we do, I wanted to talk about what else did I want to talk about? Oh. Well, what is chasing the dream? Chasing the dream ultimately is what? Financial freedom, right? Where you're not owned by having to go 9 to 5, sit in a cubicle or whatever. And hopefully you don't hate your job, you tolerate it, or you find some enjoyment in it, whatever. Office Space, one of the greatest movies ever. I never really worked in an office. I did for 3 weeks selling precious metals over the phone, a complete con. I got an ulcer. The feds came to shut that office down, and I left, and I never looked back. They were looking for the owner. They didn't shut it down. Usually when the feds show up in an office, everyone leaves in handcuffs. They were looking for the owner, who was a little con man and had a ninja bodyguard, and I always wondered about that. But when I saw 4 federal offices, 4 guys, 6'2", 180 pounds, lean, in pinstripe suits with sunglasses on in the building, walking up the stairs as I was walking down to the lunch truck, I knew something was up. And when I came back, I found out they were federal guys looking for the owner who conveniently was not there that day, and that was it. I packed up my cubicle, and that was my office experience. But anyway, if you've never seen Office Space and you work in an office, you want to see that movie. Trust me on that. So money matters. The hippies pulled a fast one on us many years ago. The greatest con perpetrated on America. This concept that money was lacking in importance. Zig Ziglar, one of the greatest motivational speakers, and commanded a huge payday to go speak to sales groups, said that, no, money might not be the most important thing in the world, but it's really running a close second to oxygen. So if you've been through what I've been through with money, and I have been through it, and so if I speak to you about money and give you any advice about it, it's worth listening to, because I've made every mistake there is to make with it and went through unbelievable things with credit. I won 2 game shows. I got chunks of money at different times. I really was trying to kill myself through financial mismanagement, not drug abuse. So understand money matters, respect it, pay attention to it, pack it away. I hate to admit this. My financial education was my dad, out of the blue, just screaming, "Save for the future." And so I went really the complete opposite way, because I grew up 18 years in that apartment listening to this madness. No normal conversation. Here's what you ought to do when you get your first job. Take 10%, put it away. Just screaming, save for the future. So I went the other way. And here's the thing. He was 100% correct. You have to have a no-touchy pile. You have to have money packed away that you're never to touch. And this gives you some relief knowing that you have some security. And I've been living on faith for a long time, So if you're out there and you're hearing this, seeing this, and you're having the rough time, and you don't know where the money's going to come from to cover the next bill or the rent or whatever, I don't know where you might stand spiritually. And I'm not telling you to go become a mad Bible, Jesus-freak, Southern Baptist, Orthodox Jew, whatever. I'm telling you to just have some faith. That is a powerful thing, and it's carried me a long way, and I've seen it work miracles personally. The right people at the right time have come across my path, opportunities occurred, and I am in the midst of a truly great opportunity right now that is in line with my second biggest passion in life, maintaining a youthful appearance, skincare. And my first passion, of course, is entertaining the people, lightening their load, and hopefully doing some inspiring and motivating and, keeping spirits up. It's hard out there. It's a hard world out there, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in America right now. People are struggling. So I just am saying keep the faith. Keep the faith however you perceive it, however you interpret faith, whether it's in yourself, the Great Spirit, the universe, Jesus, Buddha, whatever. Have some faith. I had one guy on Facebook that connected with me that I used to work with years ago at some restaurant, and he posted on Facebook that, because a lot of people hate organized religion, and I understand that. And there's a lot of anti-Christian stuff going on. And I understand that because these people believe that the Christian community is trying to tell them how to live their life and all this. I don't need anybody telling me how to live my life. And I don't like people knocking on my door and telling me that if I don't believe the way they believe spiritually, I'm going to burn in hell for an eternity. Nobody likes that. And people aren't big on rules, rules that are against pleasure and feeling good. So, but nonetheless, this guy said faith is stupid. That's what he posted. Faith is stupid. And I just thought that was so offensive and denigrating. Maybe it's stupid for him. And I don't know I personally, quite honestly, don't know how anyone gets through this life without some kind of faith because, like I said, this is a hard life, man. And I know it's faith that led me to this Roscoe's Media Center to be able to do a show. And although I'm not on NBC in prime time, I'm where I belong, in front of cameras and in front of microphones and interviewing people and talking to people about, how they're making things happen and all that good stuff. So so I wanted to get that clear. And is it time for a Pitbull Energy commercial? Yes, it is. I want you to pay close attention to this because I'm not an energy drinker. I haven't been because I'm very sensitive. But let me tell you, this stuff is the goods, man. This is the goods. So let's get our Pitbull Energy drink commercial going. Then when we come back, you're going to meet Tracy Gomez, my upline, as they call it, in a great new network marketing opportunity, relationship marketing. Are you ready?
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
Okay, we're back. And I made a mistake, and Tracy's going to correct me. So let me just bring my guest on right now, Miss Tracy Gomez, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause.
Hi, thank you so much, Howie.
It's great to have you here. I'm glad you came.
Thanks for having me.
So during that commercial, you said that I made a mistake. I've done network marketing, which you're now calling relationship marketing.
Yes.
It was multi-level. And it has created more millionaires than anything in America in the last 10 or 20 years, as I understand it,
yes.
From Amway to Mary Kay to all these other things. But I referred to you as my upline, and you said during the break, I'm not your upline, I'm your partner.
Yeah, I think that's more appropriate. I think we're all here to help each other, and I don't know, upline just...
Well, that is one thing.
To me, doesn't make me feel good. You're my downline. I don't like being called a downline. So we're all partners. We're all here to help one another.
Well, see, one of the reasons this young lady has been very successful and keeps moving forward with positivity on Nerium AD is she has never before been involved with network marketing, multi-level marketing, relationship marketing. And if you have been through it, it has its ups and downs, and it takes a lot to stick with it. There's a big attrition rate. But if you've never been through it, you haven't had all those negatives from the past to remind you. And so she says, we're partners. I never, it was always downline. They always talked about the downline. Yes. They really haven't talked about that in the meetings I've gone to for Nerium.
We don't like to talk. We say business partner.
And one great thing about this, for anyone that might get involved in this, if you get with the right team, and all teams should be the right team, it really is extremely supportive.
It is very supportive. It's more supportive than corporate America.
Well, no question about that, yes. Because as the people you bring in succeed, it doesn't undermine you, it lifts you, and you succeed more.
That's right. We help each other succeed. So in corporate America, if you don't do your job, you get fired. In relationship marketing, you have many people, especially with Nerium International. You have several people out there to help you succeed, and we want that. And we stand for really great things. Our company stands for fantastic things.
Do.
Amazing. And like you were saying, I've never been involved with network marketing. However, I've been asked several times to be a part of network marketing companies or relationship marketing companies, but it was never the right opportunity, which is why I never got involved. I do believe that this is, in my opinion, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with Nerium International.
Once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime, in my opinion, absolutely.
So tell them we've got 2 bottles there. Show them the bottles.
All right. Well, this is our night treatment, and Nerium International all started with this little bottle right here. Currently,
just one product.
Just one product.
Which
just
is one of the things that
product.
appeal to me.
Just one product. And with this one product, we have broken records globally, but we are currently only in the United States with this one product. This is a night treatment. It does amazing things for the skin. I would say just try it and you'll see.
Well, let me just give my testimony real
Please.
quick. I can just tell you, I saw one of the news anchors, I think it was on Fox, Greta Van Susteren, I think. She had left because she had her eyelids lifted. She admitted, she said, I'm going to have this surgery. I think it's going to be good because I'm on camera. And when she came back, the difference was amazing. And that is the number one thing on my list to if I were to get surgery on my face was to have my eyelids lifted. And then I used Nerium, and about 2.5, 3 weeks in, I noticed by looking in the mirror, without seeing it on camera, my eyelids were coming up. And that's a personal experience for me, and that got me very excited. So everybody's got their own. You had a thing you talked about after pregnancy or after giving birth, women sometimes get
correct. It's called a pregnancy mask. It's melasma is the word
melasma.
For it. Melasma, and I did have that, and I used several high-end products, and I've had lasers and chemical peels and you name it, and I've done it.
And none of them fixed it?
No. No,
and then you discovered...
Actually, some of them made it worse, and some of them made my skin more sensitive to sunlight with all the retinols and stuff.
Oh, yeah. They
made my skin more sensitive to sunlight. So when I started using Nerium, and a guy actually introduced me to it because I had messed up my skin dramatically and stained my face orange.
Oh,
I was orange
God.
for 3 days. I looked like my kids were calling me Pumpkin and Oompa Loompa. It was really embarrassing. But so anyway, a friend of mine said, "What'd you do to your skin now, Tracy?" And he gave me Nerium AD. And I started using it. I didn't think my skin was looking any better, but everybody else was around me was noticing a change, and they started asking me if I was pregnant, actually, because I was glowing. I was not pregnant.
How many weeks in would you say that?
Oh, just a week.
Like a week
I started
in.
getting
That's another
compliments
thing. This
after a
product,
week, yeah.
For some people, I've spoken to people, and
Yes.
as I've gotten involved, some people have seen it happen very quickly.
Correct.
And people that have had, if they've spent their life in bars playing music or bartending with the smoke before they stop the no smoking, people that have damaged skin
Yes.
will see results quicker, I think. I've taken care of my skin my whole life. But again, I was astonished when I looked in the mirror one day and I'm like, my eyelids are different. So
Yeah, I've seen it help with amazing things on the skin.
All right, and then now they have come up. Well, I just want to say one other thing. I got in for a couple of reasons, but one of the things that really intrigued me, that I liked, was the simplicity. One product. I had been with another company called Arbonne, which makes some great stuff, and great shaving cream. But they have 1 billion products, and I'm a simple guy. So I didn't last with that, but I did use their shaving cream, and that was all well and good. But this is one product. Then they went ahead, of course. They came a second product.
Yes,
Tell them about the second product.
We have our second product. We just released, I believe it was in September. It's our day cream. So this is supposed to add tons of moisture back into your skin, 15% within 2 weeks. Our day cream is amazing. It's like an extension of our night treatment. So it's a moisturizer. It's fantastic. Actually, the night cream's done phenomenal things to my skin. My melasma has helped.
Gone.
My melasma was almost completely gone with the night cream. It's helped my pore size. It helps with some scarring I had, which it's not even marketed to help stuff like that. But it did help me. And then when I started using the day cream, my melasma is now completely gone. So I'm really happy about that. Extremely happy about that. I'm actually more addicted to the day cream, I would say, than the night cream. But the night cream is what does all the work, really.
Right.
But this, like I said, it's an extension of the night cream.
And the way I came to this was because of your persistence and determination of just going out there. You just went out there to storefronts, and you went into a realty office.
Yes.
And the guy that owned that realty office kept sending you away. At that time, you had the melasma.
He did.
He saw you with the melasma.
Yes.
And he didn't want to know from it because you're selling a skincare product, and he's looking at your skin, and it's not exactly,
I think really he was probably where you were, where he was just not
negative,
into network marketing. A lot of people have a a bad taste in their mouth for it.
No
There's
question.
a lot of companies out there that
A lot of
start
companies,
and
yeah.
that, you know.
And they disappear and
Right.
whatever. This
Right.
company has done $100 million a year in the first 2 years.
The first year, $100 million in the
$100
first
million
year.
the first
Yeah.
year and $100 million the next year.
The first year only in the U.S. with only one product. So
Pretty
we
amazing.
we made it to the top 100 global list of direct selling companies, which there's thousands of direct selling companies.
That this is selling only in the U.S.
Only in the U.S. So we made it to the top 100. We were number 86.
Okay,
On
and-
average, it takes companies about 12 to 15 years
To
to
get-
make it onto that list to 86.
Well,
So-
here's what I want you to tell the people. Two things. One, how this got discovered, because that's a great story, and how you're refusing to not stop going to that real estate office led to a turnaround from Mr. Negative, real estate office owner.
Right. So how this was discovered, I would rather not answer that.
Oh,
on the
that's
air. Yes.
we're not talking about that on the
Right.
air.
I'd rather not answer how
Well, it was an accidental
discovered. It
discovery.
was
We can say
definitely
that.
an accidental discovery, kind
Okay.
of like Viagra, Retin-A,
Yeah, exactly.
Latisse. Those were all, I believe, I know Viagra. Those were accidental discoveries.
Yes.
Ours was a
Penicillin was accidental.
Yes. Ours was an accidental discovery in cancer research.
Okay.
So I will say that.
And the company gives back to cancer research.
And it's not so much the product wasn't the
The molecule.
The molecule, yes.
The molecule
And
that
so
does all this
recently-
good stuff.
Correct. And recently that molecule has been classified as a super antioxidant, which we now own a patent on the extract of it.
Own the patent, baby.
We own the
on the
patent,
extract.
yes.
That's big. Okay, and so then after going for like 2 months, once a week, however often you went to that
Right.
real estate office, you got a call from him one day
I
out
got
of
a
the blue?
call from him 6 months later. This goes to show
6
you.
months?
This goes to show you, and I've had several things like this happen to me
Right.
that
This
persistence
is staying in the game.
Persistence
and
does
persistence
pay
and
off.
determination.
Persistence does definitely pay off. You cannot take no for an answer. Just know that no doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. Maybe later. So yes, I stopped going in there, and I contact people here and there, and I let them go, and then I'll call them to say hi and see how they're doing. Anyway, the gentleman called me. I hadn't talked to him in 6 months probably, and he called me, and he said, "Okay, I'm ready for your face cream." And I said, "Well, I wasn't very fond of him because he had been kind of rude to me."
He's a South African guy, and I've worked
He's fantastic.
He's a great guy, but I just
we
want
absolutely adore each other now. so.
Yes, but I worked with 3 different South African groups and companies, fencing, restaurants, and something else, and they can be a bit abrupt. The South Africans, they're not the most charming, So I could see you
I
being.
think all of us cannot be so charming.
No, I mean I know how to be charming, but he came around.
Yeah, he did.
He came around.
Absolutely did. And so I met him and I gave it to him, and he was pretty excited about it. Well, he was really excited actually after he started using it, and he's like, "I need you to take my after picture. I know that I have results." And of course, he did have results because our product, if you have skin, it works. We don't know how soon it's going to work, and we don't know. It could work good, it could work great, or it can be amazing. We don't know which one of those you are, but our product definitely works on skin.
It definitely. Because one other thing he did, this is my personal experience. I put it on. They get you get a skin tag. It's this little flap of skin that can appear wherever. I had one on my shoulder. Usually, you go to the doc and they freeze it off, but I tried this on it. And after a few days, I saw the thing start to dissipate. And that blew me away. So whatever this molecule is that they've got the patent on, this thing is something special, super antioxidant. I think they should call it super duper antioxidant.
Right. Well, it's classified as a super antioxidant, and we own the extraction process of the molecule, and the molecule is called NAE8.
Okay.
And it's
so there's plenty of science behind it. There's no question
plenty
about
of science.
that.
So our thing is real science, real results. It's amazing.
Okay. And if you want to get any further info, I have a personal website for this, www.howie.nerium.com. And we have the Nerium sizzle reel, right?
We do.
That we're going to show. Are we ready? We got to check with that sound engineer. This guy drinks. He starts like at 7, 8 in the morning. This has been going on for a while. We're working on it. But he's functional. That's the beauty of it. young and functional at his job whilst heavy drinking through the day.
Yeah,
Now I'm just giving him a hard time. He's we got it? We ready? Okay, we're going to watch the Nerium sizzle reel. Watch this. Pay attention.
It's a breakthrough. It's a game changer.
It's a treatment. It's different from anything you've ever seen.
I was skeptical at first, but I'm not any longer.
It's simple. You use it and get the results you're looking for.
I think the market is huge.
This is an evergreen market. We're the exclusive. Understand, we got the worldwide exclusive rights to market this.
It's the best thing I've ever seen.
It's just revolutionary. Nothing like it has ever come out.
There's nothing like it out there. It can't be duplicated, can't be copied.
The opportunity for you here is huge.
It is absolutely limitless in how big this can be.
You've got to try Nerium. There's nothing else like it.
Okay, we're back, and Tracy just told me she's got a quote she wants to share from Aristotle, and he was a pretty smart guy. So
I do. So with Nerium, I do believe, or any business that you're in, number one, I know how he was talking about chasing the dream. I think that a lot of times we're chasing money, and what we should be looking for is if we chasing happiness. Chasing happiness, I think, will help us live our dreams if you're chasing happiness. So if you're happy, you can do anything you want to do. If you're miserable, you're not going to get very far.
No.
And a lot of people avoid doing things because they're afraid of what people might think. That's the number one reason that people don't get out there and they try, because lots of people think of lots of things and they never go forward with them because they're afraid of failing and they're afraid of what people might think.
Yes.
However, Aristotle said to avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. Who wants to do that? I know I don't. So I have very big dreams, and I am going to work my tail off until
Well,
until I
one
make
thing
this
about
come true.
chasing the dream, whether you're chasing happiness, like you say, you're right, and there's risk-taking, and there's always going to be naysayers.
That's right.
Clint Eastwood said, I said this last week, I'll say it every week. It's just because it's coming from, again, this is not some schlub. This is Clint Eastwood, who's never brought a movie in over budget, always under budget, fiercely loyal, the same crew for 30 years on every movie he's made. He uses the same people, He said, look, there's always going to be naysayers. You just don't listen to them.
That's right.
You
can't listen to what people
And
think.
and then at some point, with some people, even family, you have to decide if you have to cut them out of your life for a period of time, because
Correct.
it's really toxic if people keep telling you can't do what it is you're set out to do,
Yes,
or
it
it's a
is.
pipe dream, or you can't listen to that. It's just absurd. And like that guy that said, faith is stupid. I wrote him. I didn't finish that. I sent him a private message. I said, dude, listen, you are just toxic. Don't, never contact me again, and good luck to you. And I don't ever want to hear from you again. And I'm blocking you, and I don't need that in my life. What's the purpose of that?
I just watched the movie the other night, Jobs, and Steve Jobs at the end said,
Oh,
he said
I
at
have
the
to watch
end
that.
of that movie, he said the crazy ones are the ones that think they can change the world are the ones that actually do.
right.
So you have to be crazy enough to continue and to not care what people think, and just go out there and do what you want to do regardless of what other people think. Because as long as you're doing and you're chasing down what you really want to do, it will happen for you. So don't ever give up.
Yeah, and people that are that concerned with the opinions of others, you'll just paralyze yourself. You'll be, incapacitated.
Right.
You can't. Danny Thomas, the great Danny Thomas, who I don't know how some younger people might not know who he is, but he said this isn't. And somebody might have said this before him. I'm not sure, but the line is. Just you got to put blinders on and just run your own race.
Correct.
You just run your own race. You got to be focused, look straight ahead, don't worry about what other people are doing. I have above my toilet a poster from Bob Parsons, who created, who's the owner of GoDaddy, and it's 16 Rules for Success. So every time I'm peeing, I'm looking at the 16 Rules for Success.
That's good.
And one of them is, I looked at it today, number 7 was always be going forward. And I thought, that's my show, Constant Forward Motion.
Right.
He's just like Anthony Robbins will tell you, Wayne Dyer, any of these guys. But, some of these guys, like the guy that did Venus and Mars, Women from Mars,
Right.
Wayne Dyer. I can't listen to these guys speak because they speak like, and they have, Anthony Robbins I can listen to speak. He's got passion. He's got some intensity. The Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay. I don't think he's I just don't think he's a great speaker. I mean, he's God bless
Jim
his.
Rohn.
Who?
Jim Rohn.
Oh, Jim
John
Rohn
C.
was the
Maxwell.
granddaddy. I mean, he's no longer with us.
Right.
Yeah, he passed away, but they have his website and they have a committee. 3 minutes to go? All right, we got 3 minutes to go. What else do we want to tell them about Nerium?
Well, I would say Nerium International is a phenomenal company. We're not just a company; we're actually a family. It's a community of people who are collectively. We're individually taking responsibility and collectively changing the world. So anyone interested in working for a phenomenal company or representing a phenomenal company, working for yourself, making phenomenal money.
Yeah, you're working for yourself.
It's got amazing potential. The product, hands down, is amazing. I honestly feel like I'm a pioneer in this company, and I am proud to be where I'm at.
Right on, right on. Yeah, the product will speak for itself. That's a ticket. It's like anything else. Just use the product. I mean, if that's it, you'll what is always suggested is to take a before picture and about 10 days later an after picture. Because for me, I saw it in the mirror, but for a lot of people,
that's a must. You must take a before and after picture.
Yeah, that's a must. But for a lot of people, they don't see it the way I did in the mirror. But when they see their after picture, their before and after picture, they're rather stunned. They're rather blown away. They can see, so. I'm very excited to be with it. And here's how I came to it indirectly through Tracy. I owed Tracy a debt of gratitude on this because of her persistence and determination with the real estate guy. My pal is his partner, and my pal said, "You got to come down to the office. We're having a little party." And he trying to fake me out a little. Didn't
wine
mention,
and wrinkle party.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, because this guy's known for throwing some good parties anyway, and there was going to be some free food there, and if there's free food somewhere, I'm probably coming, So, I mean, they kind of made me an offer I couldn't refuse. It was too good an offer, and it's right along the lines of something that's really important to me. And I pride myself on maintaining a youthful appearance. So far, I've had no surgery. And by the way, there was a picture of Tom Selleck on Facebook. He's 69 years old. Never in a million years would you know it. That's part of being really wealthy.
Right.
The relief of not having financial stress will keep you younger looking. But also, who knows? Keith Richards, he certainly doesn't have a youthful appearance, but he's still alive. They say he went to Switzerland every year and he switched out his blood. He changed out his blood.
Well, you don't have to be wealthy for this.
No, that's the thing. You don't have to be wealthy for this, and
it's all natural, which is a big thing these days.
All
it's
natural,
all natural,
for real, all natural,
cruelty-free, paraben-free, gluten-free.
Gluten-free. Okay, so we're getting ready to wrap it up. I wanted to share with you something because I'm just going to tell you. You'll see in the shows to come. I'll tell you the stories of some of the things I went through where I reached the points of feeling like Drew Carey did when he went to Las Vegas. I'm like, I give up. I got a $250,000 life insurance policy because I'd borrowed $40,000 unsecured from a friend, and they weren't worried about me paying it back. They knew my word was gold, but I said, what if I get hit by a truck, So I had no collateral, and so I took out a life insurance policy. And because I have that, at times of despair and feeling like nothing's working and giving up, I'm like, I'll quit, I'll be at my peace. I won't owe any money. Everybody will get paid. My mother will be taken care of. It's $250,000. And then I saw the story about the 12-year-old girl in Hawaii. You know about the 12-year-old surfer girl?
No, I did not hear.
Had her arm bit. There's a movie called Soul Surfer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's a place called Foundation for a Better Life. You'll see their billboards around town. This is on my computer. Okay? Are we seeing this good? So when I'm a grown man and I want to move towards the self-pity and, annoyance and frustration and I can't take it anymore, there's not enough money, there's not whatever, I'm like, this 12-year-old girl had her arm bit off by a shark, and 5 weeks or 7 weeks later, she was competing again. She was a competitive surfer. Her family was. They were in Hawaii. They were all surfers,
5 weeks.
5 weeks or 7 weeks, maybe a little longer. She was back. No, not 5 weeks. It was
5
a little
months.
longer than 5 weeks. Maybe 5 months. She was back surfing competitively in her field of 12. She came in 5th. And it wasn't a setup. They weren't doing it to make her feel good. It's not like those stories you read about the retarded kid or the autistic kid that they let him play ball and get the touchdown. This is the real deal. She was a competitor. You talk about a strong soul. And one thing they never said in the media that really struck me when you see the movie. The movie's called Soul Surfer. They were Christian missionaries. They were Christian missionaries. They were people of great faith. And that really that helped us. God bless this girl, man. She inspires a lot of people. All right, that's it. We're wrapping it up. So remember, stay in constant forward motion. Look me up on Facebook, Howie Walfish, at Howie Walfish, for Twitter, www.howie.nerium.com. You want a chance at making some money, doing some good, and seeing everybody that you get this product to say, oh, man, thanks. I look fantastic. All I get is compliments now. Call me. Come on board with us and be part of the family at Nerium AD. We're very excited. Are we ready to go out? All right.
Thanks, Howie.
Have a great day. Tracy, thank you for being here.
Thanks.
This woman, pay attention to this woman.